In the heart of Arizona State University, a team of artists, scientists, and musicians set out to create a sonic journey unlike anything heard before. Every journey begins with collaboration. At the heart of ASU, that collaboration came alive. Cosm, creators of the Dome technology, filmmakers from Los Angeles, a producer and director who are ASU faculty professors, a visual special effects artist, and the sound design team from ASU's Mix Center, amongst others. Together, we began to imagine not just how the dome would look, but how it would sound. As the project began, I connected with the creative minds who had shaped the sound and the look of an entire universe. Collaboration's everything. Every creative voice you just met helps sculpt the universe you're about to experience. And my role as a composer is to shape how you feel each moment. So let me take you behind the score, where music turns vision into emotion. With the script and storybook in hand, I began exploring the project through sound, envisioning Arizona's sweeping landscapes and the cosmos stretching beyond. One photo of a Native American figure resonated deeply, inspiring me to give voice to the land itself through the Native American Indian flute. Music, like the Arizona land, tells its own story, and I wanted every note to carry the spirit of the desert, its silence, its power, its endless possibility, and that's where the score began. I reached out to Dr. John Barcelona, who had previously commissioned me to compose 3 trails for Native American flute and acoustic guitar, premiered at the Cole Conservatory of Music. His deep artistry and intuitive understanding of both instruments made him the ideal collaborator. We met at his home to rehearse the first melodies meant to awaken the spirit of the desert.
Hi, John Barcelona here. When Christopher Caliendo approached me about being involved in this project celebrating Arizona to describe the landscape and the history, I immediately thought of the use of Native American flutes. And as you can see, they come in all different sizes and all different keys.
His sound embodied the land itself, raw, sacred, and timeless. He later recorded the pieces at our LA studio, and my engineer Mark Kiefner sent me the audio files. I had no picture, and we were pressed for time. So I took a gamble importing the audio bites of the Native American Indian flute that Mark recorded, and I orchestrated the music around them. And once I completed the orchestrations, I sent those to Jason Scott, our director, for approval. It was the best thing I could do with the time I had. Before meeting in person, I connected online with Rodrigo Morales and Danilo Otranto to discuss our creative process and sonic vision. Later at ASU's Media and Immersive Experience Center, the Mix Center, we explored spatial sound and immersive audio. The Mix, with its Dolby Atmos studios and post-production spaces, bridges education and professional innovation. Working with Rodrigo and Daniel there opened new sonic dimensions. Their immersive design allowed the score to surround the audience with both science and emotion. With the footage delayed by unforeseen circumstances, including monsoon-damaged drone cameras, I couldn't score a picture as usual. Instead, I composed 22 initial cues, musical sketches exploring tone, emotion, and narrative purpose. And sharing these with director Jason Scott created a dialogue that built trust and direction long before the visuals arrived. This was a challenge unlike any other. Without visual reference, I had to use my imagination. I listened to Anthony Rapp's narration for the entire project, looking at a black screen while following his dialogue.
Arizona Science Center is the kind of place where the smallest spark of imagination can lead to huge discoveries.
He provided a degree of rhythm, of timing and energy. I did have a script to follow. I could imagine what was on the film, but a lock picture is what I generally score to. Final, unchanging edit of a film. No more cuts, no more trims or timing shifts. Lock picture guarantees that every musical hit point, every cue and nuance you write will stay perfectly aligned with the finished picture. So a composer knows when to speed up the film, knows when to slow it down. He gets a sense of dynamics, of timing, of energy, style, vocabulary, everything. So without a lock picture, I had to rely on my intuition, which became my compass. And that intuition is, well, it's what guided me. Working without visuals is like composing for silent films, except in silent cinema, the audience reads captions, while the music delivers the emotion. At Fox, I learned to shape rhythm, tension, and character entirely through sound. And here, the narrator became my frame. The music had to suggest movement, atmosphere, and motivation the eye couldn't see. Every phrase was a brushstroke, translating words into emotion and pacing that the ear could visualize. I divided the score into 3 musical vocabularies: Earth, the cosmos, and the planets, each with its own sonic identity. The Native American flute grounds us in Arizona, its breath echoing across the desert horizon. Minimalist rhythms capture the infinite pulse of space, drawing the listener into the momentum of endless motion. For the rural passages, country-inspired violin lines evoke warmth of familiarity. In Monument Valley, brass and strings carve canyon walls of sound. And the Grand Canyon, that demanded music as immense and awe-inspiring as its name. For the warp speed sequence, I turned to chordal harmonies, a subtle nod to Star Trek to capture the audience's sense of wonder at this new technology.
Now, strap in, because we're going to harness this tremendous gravitational force to accelerate and then slingshot us to the farthest reaches of the universe. But don't worry, I've done this sort of thing a lot, at least on TV.
I blended celeste, piano, and digital delay to paint light velocity in the birth of stars. Live music is pure magic. With every project, you give birth to yourself. Each film has its own vocabulary, and I ask myself which instrument best represents its essence. The musicians who worked on this picture brought such heart and humanity to the score. Kristen Caliendo on flute and piccolo, Jeff Cuomo on clarinet and bass clarinet, and John Barcelona on Native American flutes. Working with these extraordinary musicians made every note come alive, turning each sound into a conversation with the audience. Each instrument was chosen to humanize the score, adding fidelity, texture, and nuance that digital sound alone could never achieve. Live performance allowed the music to breathe, giving the listener a sense of presence and intimacy, as if the music were unfolding in the room around them. My longtime collaborator Mark Kiefner built the rhythmic foundation. I text him specific BPMs or beats per minute, and he'd create what we call cosmic drum loops at those speeds. He'd send audio files that I layered and customized in Logic Pro, weaving them into the orchestration. And this process gave the score precision, dynamism, and forward motion, the heartbeat beneath the cosmos.
So the mixing process for the Dorrance Dome project was quite extensive. There were 5 different segments with instrumentation on each one. In this particular segment here, this is segment 4, where we take the journey through the solar system and beyond. 61 plus tracks, cosmic loops. And we wanted to keep in mind too that this is not just going to be a stereo mix. I provided a stereo mix, but that we were going to have access for the 3D space of the Dorrance Dome, which is front, back, bottom, top, and all points in between. There are, literally innumerable access points where you can place different instruments. So we provided different groups of stems. There was percussion, brass, strings, voices. And so then we would just provide them in groups so they could place them in various spaces around the dome and ideally move them around too as needed. Of course, to support the dialogue. That's the most important thing. But we wanted to be able to create that immersive experience with them. So it was quite intriguing and a very fun process.
Hearing the music breathe in the dome for the first time was transformative. It wasn't just a score. It was kind of a musical, sonic environment. If we truly want the Dome to offer an immersive experience worthy of Cosmos technology, then every part of what the audience hears must match that innovation. A project of this magnitude deserves a full orchestra, live musicians recorded in pristine analog fidelity. Digital tools and electronics have their place. They can shape textures the orchestra can't. But the foundation must be human. The orchestra provides soul. Technology provides dimension. My hope is that as major tech companies begin to use the Dome for commerce and large-scale experiences, they'll recognize the value of investing in music that matches the grandeur of the medium itself.
ASU stands at the forefront of technological innovation and research. But for me, true progress means embracing live musicians within Dome experiences, so you're ensuring that the fullness of our humanity is not lost to the precision of technology. When companies support live recorded performances, they honor the right brain's unique power to connect music deeply to the soul, igniting emotion, igniting creativity far beyond what digital reproduction can offer. So in doing so, we create environments where the heart and the mind advance in harmony, not isolation.
The premier united the visionaries who brought this project to life. Sponsors, artists, scientists, and filmmakers. It was more than an unveiling. It was the celebration of art and discovery. Looking back, the Dome taught me that sound, like the cosmos, is limitless. Music connects us through wonder, silence, and the harmony of creation.
I hope this journey inspired you as much as creating it inspired us, and that your experience in the Dome lives up to the space that it inhabits.